Premiering announcements number 3A. We're recording.
This is the Social Television Authority. Hello again to all YouTubers and to all STV users, and welcome back to premiering announcements for the social television and media networking trades from the STA. And we proudly hope that most of our regular viewers have been able to join us while using YouTube here on Channel 3 and J4C. But straight down to business, and a new segment about the local independent customer service now becomes official to consider around our latest news. We have full corporate details this morning about the first edition on Cutting to the Chase and also the latest on nationwide Gacha Club membership consumers. To make matters worse, before we begin today's bulletin, we take another look on our manager, Warren Wilson, who was recently upset about something as we are still reviewing the case between himself and a fan friend of his very own, Miss Kazumi Honeymoon, in which the staff management had expected a couple of days ago. More details on that in just a few minutes.
Now over to development news, and we received some interesting information about the Google industry, as local engineers have spent the last 3 days or so producing massive development in downtown West San Jose. The project for housing and office reassessment became a huge cliffhanger in most parts of the town. In other words to the situation, Google's village real estate development partner, Lend-Lease, expected to reassess the timeline for trend staff member work over the entire team during development production for several new Bay Area neighborhoods in the town center. According to the Australia-based partner, the confirmation of restructuring in Google's 12,000 layoff disclosures in the Bay Area was somewhat an unbelievable success. In business terms, Lend-Lease provided Google development services within the primary 4-area district consistency. Additional information can be found in the latest Bay Times article about the Bay Area development.
Also, in related general news, non-social television networking developers respectively worked on the moment you've all been waiting for, the roadmap to a successful intelligent automation transformation, a step-by-step guide towards technology coverage and development services in the future, the recent white paper published last week. This professional documentation builds a new type of intelligent transformation onto the development scene, using just one single easy-to-understand diagram published in more than 65 million printed copies. The California State Department of Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics approved its theoretical process and proclaimed its new name in this type, Development Automation. Technicians following this process in schools and colleges will have the opportunity to build better innovation for business, industry, government, and national defense. This new technique, granted after approving the white paper, should inform developers about 3 important concepts. One achievement for them is to build and improve the digital transformation process regardless of the number of possibilities. Nationwide coverage of development automation across the United States should now have at least more than 2,000 advanced development strategies by the end of the month, as the evolution of automation services continues to grow throughout this quarter of the year. Although it is not to be confused with the rocket science method, when it comes to programs and robots, development automation also supports useful database information from both automatic and manual testing sources for computer-based systems for operating networks and communicating with hosting servers throughout wireless calculation cables.
Moving on to local independent service news now about the Kazumi Honeymoon case. Everything with the beautiful princess of majestic murder, Pretty Kira herself, fairly considered as Her Majesty Kazumi, seems rather very complicated. There has been very much about her disastrous behavior that we cannot afford to explain after she did everything she ever wanted. For example, especially after what she did to maiden witch Princess Francesca Velvet. Hypothetically, it was one time when she gets really angry and that she broke Francesca's favorite toy, which appeared to be a little blue tuba that she was playing, by smashing it all up really hard with a hammer. It is not clear why Kazumi lost her marbles or what made her have such a big meltdown, but Gacha Life club members of their community were following some assassination-related leads. Nevertheless, this does not mean that Her Majesty is considered to be dangerous to other people. This young lady, after all, likes Warren Wilson after going into a follow-up relationship with each other. She was meant to continue on being a very good girl, so let us make life a little easier for her rivals, her friends, and herself.
You may have heard stories about Kazumi and wondered if they were true. The manager's follow-up on her page makes him another fan friend online. The STA staff didn't believe this type of news at first, but we managed to catch her reaction on video and found out that the rumors were understating the truth. The manager received the message while viewing the video on auxiliary television last week. Here's the footage prior to the subject, coming to you live from Mr. Wilson's office.
After Mr. Wilson finished that recording during some time later, he wrote his latest comments on the subject and sent letter in the mail, ready to be transported to where Kazumi works during her spare time. By the time she read it, she wanted to make an appointment to have a conversation with him in the headquarters lobby in person. So she went out to pay the STA staff members a confidential visit.
But before she left, she has written a reply about her thoughts on the letter Mr. Wilson has sent her after checking her mailbox back at Honeymoon Pedicure Studios in Hollywood.
What? Follow my local channel back just to let yourself keep up with me and Acne after subscribing? Not likely. Actually, it might boost the case between my reaction and the video in its entirety if only pathetic users like Alex Kitty, Breezy Girl, or All 4 Tube Kids review the advertising ratings, since that poor idiotic excuse for YouTube CEO, Ms. Sue Wojcicki, quit her job over incorporating the network bulletin in their program.
Nice thought, Miss Kazumi, but we think those 3 social consumers and Miss Wojcicki can well do without that. The fact is that the subscription for maintaining feedback, which we consider to review the pre-recorded Kind Master short subject on STV, is to be and has to be reviewed for clarity. Part of the reason for having the feedback was for American Telecable to refollow subscription management in order to reconnect the local STV companies each morning. But now, all that filtering has been automated, and that advertising rating review user space is no longer required. The first cutting to the chase establishment, which is between Mr. Wilson and Her Majesty, is at the much earlier stage of verbal confronting. 16 consumers have applied, and there is to be a public conference meeting on Monday, March 13th, for people to state their views and opinions on what they want for evident services from shareholders in their area. The meeting will be on Monday of the week at the STA main lobby hall from the YouTube headquarters in San Bruno at 4:45 p.m., and there are no tickets. Anyone can go along.
But don't forget that we still have some frequently asked questions about networking information and account services, followed by other items on YouTube Help Center Topics page 9257498, which of course remains on Google Help for STV.